thinking, punk. Question is, can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Bob, seeing as how these claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy, you gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. Wolverine, number 4. This is from the original first limited series from 1982, written by Chris Claremont, pencils by Frank Miller, inks by Joseph Rubinstein. I have all 4 original issues, and I have a trade paperback. Love these covers here. Real quick here, let's finish showing you this cover here. I have several playlists. I'm covering what I like to call the Claremont verse in reading order. So as I post these videos, I put them in as much of a reading order as I can. I have a playlist that contains absolutely everything from X-Men to Marvel Fanfare to Marvel Team Up to Wolverine to the New Mutants. All of it in reading order. But I also have an Uncanny X-Men, or an X-Men, sorry, playlist. So the X-Men are by itself. I have a New Mutant playlist where the New Mutants are by themselves. And then the one where everything is by itself. But there's also a Wolverine playlist where these will also be in there by themselves. So you can either read, watch all the videos that you want, or just, pick and choose. So, all right, here we go. Digital is just so much easier to work with for this, and so Honor is the name of the story, and all these issues of Wolverine are done in first person narration. And so we begin here with I'm Wolverine, and I absolutely love this. Part of it silhouetted, part of it not. Man, Frank Miller is just such a genius when it comes to storytelling. And so Wolverine continues the narration. If you're smart, you don't want me for an enemy. And so we have these 2 people here. We don't see quite who they are. So this one is speaking in Japanese, and this guy introduces himself. I am Goro. Of course, it lets us know that translated from Japanese here. Here's the shipment. 10 kilos, pure, excellent. This is your payment. I love how they're meeting. This is so TV cornballish. All right. And so Wolverine continues here. They keep their voices low, but I hear them fine. I'm a mutant with enhanced physical senses and abilities, but my main power is my body's knack of healing virtually any injury. In addition, my skeleton is laced with adamantium, which makes my bones pretty near unbreakable. I also have claws. Look at that. We get the snicked. Razor keen, forged of pure adamantium, retractable through the back of my hands into bionic housings inside my forearms. They're nasty. So am I. And Wolverine in Japanese say, evening, gentlemen, as he hits both the drugs and the money. And they're like, who's that? The heroin. My money. Don't try it, bub. Don't even think about it. And so he narrates, smart boy, he takes the hint and leaves his gun in its holster. And so Wolverine says, I have a message for your boss. Tell Lord Shingen that Wolverine is coming for him. And again, look at the silhouettes. Oh my goodness. At such an early age that this was, Miller just got it. It is unfriggin' believable. This is why Frank Miller is one of the I would put him in my top 5, and he is in my top 5. But I would put him in the top 10 for everyone. I mean, I don't think if you had to list the most influential are, I don't know, artists, writers, whatever you want to. Frank Miller would crack the 10, I think, of everybody's list. So I'll just say he's top 10, but he's top 5 in mine. So, um, it continues here. Shingen spent years building his organization, and so vertical panels, which are a Miller staple, and so I spent hours ripping it apart. And here we go. Look at that. And then um, this one goes with this one. From the top, from the top of, I think he means of his heap to the bottom throughout Japan, I touch every base he has and leave the same message. Some guys try to fight, some run. And he says here, and this is the last one, nobody gets very far. Oh, absolutely beautiful. And now we have a brief interlude here. We're at the basically at his home for the Yoshida, and this guy here is saying, this accursed Gaijin strikes with impunity, defying our best efforts to locate and neutralize him. Shingen, your position is grave. Wolverine is making you look ridiculous and ineffectual. The gangs will not follow a leader they cannot respect nor fear. If this situation is not dealt with quickly, the damage will become irreparable. And Shingen says, I have assigned the task to my finest ninja, he says here. So, love the screen tones being applied here. Wolverine is as good as dead. And this guy says, Lord Shingen, a package for you, sir. And he says, open it. And so the guy does. And again, these are screen tones being applied here. Ninja hoods and a note. And so the note says, tonight. And he says, I understand him. Summon the hand. Inform them that an ideal opportunity has arisen for them to avenge their fallen brethren and their honor as assassins. Is it wise to stay, Shingen? And he says, it is necessary. Your life is too valuable to risk. And he says, my life is nothing without honor, Agami. I must face him. Do not worry, my friend. I defeated Wolverine in single combat before. I shall do so again. Only this time, I will kill him. So... And so it says here, the ninjas come loaded. Forbear. I left them stripped and cuffed at the local cop house. I kept their weapons for myself. I don't normally use hardware. With my physical assets, who needs anything? But for this caper, I figure every little bit will help. The carpet of my hotel room is immaculate. There isn't a sign that a man died here not long ago or that his killer escaped through the window. My good friend Asano Kimura, chopped up by my lover Yukio. My life's taken some pretty hard shots lately. I flew out here to Japan chasing Mariko Yoshida, the woman I ever loved, only to find her married. So Chris Claremont is giving us basically a short recap. Love this. Look at this. And this was all done in color holds. I know that it looks, well, I mean, obviously this is a digital copy, but this is how it looked like. Was done on color holds back then. Absolutely great here. Oh, and in black. Oh, just Frank Miller is so good. Sorry, I'm getting my geek on. So, so Wolverine continues. Then in front of her, in a supposedly friendly duel, her father, Shingen, drugged me and beat me near to death, and in the process stripped me of my pride, self-respect, and honor. I don't know which hurt more, he says. So, Shingen threw me out to die in the mud. Yukio found me, nursed me back to health. We became inseparable. We fell in love. Trouble was, my heart of hearts still belonged to Miko. Then, too late, I learned Yukio worked from Shingen. And later, when Asano got in her way, she killed him too. Shingen called me an animal. For a time, I believed him. We were both wrong. That mistake is going to cost him his life and me the woman I love. So, and he's got this a crossbow, right? I believe a crossbow here. So, we got another interlude here. Again, we're in Clan Yoshida's home. So we see these things here, and then the panels are actually going to come from here with Mariko speaking, but I'm going to have to go a little bit higher to see them here. So, O beloved and revered ancestors, what is the path of duty, of truth? Are they the same? And if not, which is paramount? I love Wolverine, yet my father returned as if from the dead and bid me to marry another to satisfy an obligation my father had incurred. I did so, though it broke my heart. And so, my husband, Noboru Hideki, is a cruel man, but I know now that he is but a pale reflection of my father. The man I remember from my childhood is no more, if indeed he ever was. Shingen's ambitions know no bounds, and he will use any means, no matter how heinous, to achieve his goals. What am I now? What am I to do? How may honor be served? Shingen is evil. His very existence disgraces this house and our most ancient name, yet he is my father. By destroying him, I destroy myself. Gods and ancestors, grant me wisdom, grant me strength. I am so afraid. Help me. I beg you, answer me. What am I to do? And you can see a tear here. Oh, just beautiful. And so here we go. Beautiful panel here. We see the hand. The sentry dog is dead. Oh, who would kill that dog? And suddenly you see that he's hit from the back and he falls, and it's of course Yukio. I can't believe she would kill that dog. Oh, she's a monster. I love animals. So alright, and so the hand sees her. Behold, my brothers, it is the wild one, Lord Shingen's renegade assassin Yukio. Many of her brethren have died at her hand. Shall I avenge them? No, let her enter the castle, says the other one. Lord Shingen wishes her taken. So, and look, there's a ton of ninja, alive and unharmed, and a net. She's caught. Of course, Yukio-chan, for all your vaunted skills, even you are no match for the immortal hand. So, and here comes Mariko, and another frigging beautiful vertical panel here. Father, I heard a commotion. Oh. And Shingen says, please come in, Mariko. I trust you will find this experience instructive. This young woman and you have something in common, an unwholesome attraction for the Gaijin, Wolverine. By morning, you will both be cured of that, and then he pauses, affliction permanently. And Yukio says, curse you, Shingen. Why couldn't you have left well enough alone, she says. And so Wolverine cared nothing for you anymore, or your plan, or your daughter. He was no threat to you. We were content, happy. And Shingen says, how blissfully romantic. Wolverine's state of mind was irrelevant, Yukio. I had given you a command to kill him. You disobeyed. And he continues, I will not have my authority flouted. You had to be taught a lesson. And she says, nobody owns me, Shingen. I do as I please, she says. And of course, he has her prisoner. Brave words, little warrior, but in the final analysis, merely words. Obviously, it pleased you to try to kill me. Why? A whim? Speak. And she says, I killed Logan's friend. Ah, and you thought to balance the scales and atone for your crime with my death. And he slashes. And Mariko's like, gasp. Of course, what he does is he takes her ropes out. And so Shingen says, splendid. You know, something of honor after all. You are free, Yukio. Come for me then, if you dare. And so, look at that. He punches her. Your technique is superb, Yukio. Your speed and power almost beyond comprehension. And he kicks her. But you are no match for me, and neither is your paramour. Mariko, how dare you interfere? And she's like, stop it, father, you're killing her. Obviously, do not tempt my wrath, child, lest you... And the ninja here says, my lord, the radio. Lord Shingen, this is post 1. And repeat, your message was cut off, says Shingen. This is Lord Shingen, report. Respond at once, do you hear me? Answer me. And so... Look at this. That is awesome. And so, Shingen says, Wolverine has arrived. And the son says, face him if you wish, Shingen. I prefer to live. Your last stand should buy enough time to reach the helicopter. Father, says Mariko, forget about him, wife. You're coming with me. And she says, no, I'm in no mood to argue, Mariko. And Wolverine shows up here and says, you heard the lady, bub. She wants to stay, and she calls out for him, and of course he's got a gun in, her husband pulls a gun toward her head. One false move, Wolverine, and she dies. Step into the light where I can see you. That's a spirit gauge, and I knew you'd be reasonable. And so, fool, as he shoots. And then thunk, 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 and you can see in the background like blood here. Oh, gotcha! And of course, it is Yukio here who has killed her husband. Hold that pose, my lady, and look at that. Don't worry, lover. I didn't cut Mariko, just her outfit. And so he's using that as a sling for him. You look pretty spry, all things considered. I'm tough when I have to be. I'd like to stay to fight by your side. And Wolverine says, you can't. And so she leaves here. I can't forgive... sorry. Without another word, she's gone. I can't forgive her for Asano, and I can never repay her for Mariko. So I let her go. So... Mariko's silent too, as I leave her to follow Shingen. She knows what comes next. It's as if we're all actors in a kabuki drama playing our assigned roles to the bitter end. So you can see Shingen grabbing this sword here, regardless of the cost. When Shingen and I first dueled, it was with Bokan, wooden practice swords. I asked him why not steal. He said I wasn't worthy. And in that fight, he proved it. And Wolverine yells and says, Shingen! And look at him. Look at this awesome. Am I worthy now? Oh, this is so freaking cool. And Shingen pulls out the sword and says, that Gaijin remains to be seen. And so Wolverine continues narrating. We move as one, blades hissing through the air as we pass. I cut deep. Shingen cuts deeper. I'm hurt bad, he knows it, but no quarter is asked. Here comes a Chris Claremont trope. And none given. It is if you read a lot of X-Men, you see that a lot. So look at that. Oh, how painful. Look. Oh my goodness. But Frank Miller definitely knows how to choreograph a fight scene. He is so good at this. Look at this. Oh, snicked. Look at that. Oh. Logan, says Mariko as she walks in. Father. And look at this. Inks, and then all of a sudden the inks aren't finished and we have screen tones here. How frigging cool is that? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. And so, she is the woman I love, says Wolverine here. And I have slain her father. Honor and duty demand that she becomes my enemy. that she not rest until I have paid for Shingen's life with my own or until she herself dies. And so her hands tremble as she reaches for the sword. Even wounded as I am, I could easily take it from her. I could kill her in 100 different ways so quickly she'd never know what hit her. And so Wolverine says here, I do nothing. Look at that. Isn't that? Oh, such a good series here. And so Mariko says here, again, vertical panels. Todd McFarlane and Frank Miller are the two greatest at doing these vertical panels here. And so Mariko says, do you remember this blade, Logan? The honor sword of Clan Yashida, forged 800 years ago by the supreme swordsmith Masamune. He was a man of consummate nobility and grace. Each blade he crafted is said to possess a portion of his essential character, his soul. This represents all we are and all we were and are and wish to be. It is perfection of form and function, of reality and spirit, to be worn not by the lord of the clan, but by the samurai who best exemplifies those qualities. My father brought shame to Clan Yashida. For his actions, he forfeited his right to touch this blade, much less wield it. Logan, the honor sword is yours. And he says, something, I don't know how to, hey, hi. Anyway, Miko, no, I am unworthy, he says. You fought for the good of others, for right, for the truth, Shingen for greed, and ultimately for survival. You persevered, though you believed that such a course would cost you everything you hold dear, and thereby, beloved, you proved that you are what Shingen could never hope to be. And so they embrace here. Beautiful, a reverse silhouette. Oh. And so we get to the final page here. And I'm not going to read all this here, but so Professor X Mansion and the X-Men receive a letter from him, and we got Storm and Nightcrawler and Kitty and Cyclops and Colossus. And he says, Wolverine says here, I'd give anything to see their faces when they open the letter. And His Imperial Majesty Hirohito, Emperor of Japan, requests the pleasure of your company at the wedding of Lady Mariko of Clan Yashida to Logan. And I love this right here, RSVP. Hey, Elf, don't forget the beer, W. And so we get our credits finally. Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, Joseph Rubinstein, Tom Rozakowski, Lynn Varley, colored. Louise Jones is the editor, and Jim Shooter is still the editor-in-chief. Oh, it's so good. So, absolutely love this series. Hope you enjoyed it. Wolverine number 4 from 1982, written by Chris Claremont, penciled by Frank Miller, inks by Joseph Rubinstein. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.